Good morning, everyone. Honorable judges, I'm Raya Aqilah Azhara from SMA Negeri 1 Banjarnegara, participating in NSDC 2026 as the first speaker of the proposition side. Our motion today is this House prefers a world where critical resources are governed by the International Materials Agency. First of all, I would like to define our motion. Critical resources are limited assets that is essential to maintain operations or businesses. It is a limited resource for survivals of a success of an organization or a system. Critical resources are the lifeblood in the world. Without it, there will be no phones, no medicine, and no green energy. Currently, resources are governed by the resource nationalism. Power countries use their minerals to extort others. And I prefer a world that where these resources are used as global commons for survival and humanity, not as weapons or for war. Right now, if billionaires or powerful countries want to hoard all the oil or other stuff to make more money, they can. And I agree with this motion because I believe critical resources are essential for survival, like medicine or energy. Look at the history. Right now, countries are fighting over resources like gold, oil, or land. If a neutral agency controls the resource, then the nation will stop hitting at each other's again. Now, I have three arguments for my speech. First, we must transition to international governance to stop powerful nations from using resources for weapons and extortion against other nations. Look at the Russian and Ukraine conflict, or how export restrictions on graphite or lithium are used for political pawn or chess piece. Currently, if a country sits on a gold mine of resources, then they can effectively strangle or crush the others and crush the economy of any nation that disagree with them. Now we live in a state of resource hegemony. Small or developing nations are forced to follow others so they can keep their lights on. We ensures that the resources are prioritized based on the nation necessity to reduce the power to bully and creates the peaceful rules. Second of all, is halting the ecological devastation. Without the global environmental police, the race for critical minerals will lead to an irreversible environmental catastrophe, such as deforestation and water pollution. Under the current system, corporations move to countries with the weakest law so they can extract resources as cheap as possible, leaving the toxic environment behind. Nations are afraid to enforce strict environmental laws because they don't want to lose any investors. A global authority solves this dilemma by setting a universal green standard. If you don't mind sustainability, you can't sell on the global market. This protects the Earth's biological lungs and ensures the transition toward green energy that isn't built on the environmental destruction. Finally, we're achieving the distributive justice. International governance is the only way to ensure the justice from a developing nations so they were not left behind. During a global semiconductor crisis, wealthy nations tend to outdo the others and leaving the developing countries unable to maintain basic medical tech and ignores those who cannot pay due to the high price, even if their needs are desperate. An international body would manage the global resource and think of it as a global safety net. Instead of mineral getting to the richest bidder, the authority ensures that it goes to the essential services such as hospitals and schools and others. So I support this motion because I believe that this is the right to the energy and technology should be a human right and not the luxury belongs to the elite few. Thank you and so proud to propose.